Hey guys, it's another tutorial! This time, how to draw Enderman, or more accurately, how I draw Enderman. Anyway, if you don't know what Endermen are, they're and if you don't know what Minecraft is, you need to get on that. Anyway, so I've been asked this before, so I figured I'd finally get around to doing it. I've been kind of procrastinating, but anyway, this is just how I draw Enderman, and it's not in the style of the game. It's a bit different. It's a bit more chibi and cute, and Minecraft is kind of known for their really boxy square art, but I actually make it more soft and round, and yeah, anyway, you'll see that when I get going. So the way that I draw Enderman, I tried to make it as simple as possible, just to make it easy and fast and fun, I guess. The point of this tutorial will be to essentially teach you how to draw Enderman in my style in any pose. I've seen a lot of tutorials out there that are like how to draw this, how to draw that, but they only show you like that one exact picture, and I hate that. It drives me nuts. But so this tutorial, you're gonna learn how to do any pose with my Enderman. So yeah, thumbs up for me being awesome. Or not, I don't know. Anyway, so to get started, I'm gonna show you just a front pose just to get the general idea and feel for the style. It's gonna be a bit sketchy, but I mean, hopefully the point will be, we'll get across there. The Endermen typically have the whole, oopsies, standard like rectangle look to their head. However, when I draw an Enderman head, I actually make it a bit more curved. Just to, yeah, but Enderman's heads are not square, they're a bit more rectangle, so you gotta kind of keep that in mind. It's probably a bit more bulgy than oh no, it's broad, alright. But anyway, so this is what they normally do in the game. This is what it normally looks like perfect rectangle geometric shapes and things. And mine is just more relaxed, and yeah, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but you get the point. So that is the basic idea for a head that I do is, but you can go that route. I mean, whatever. So whatever floats your boat. So head. And then for arms and legs, I kind of keep to a similar look, which is like a teardrop. So you know the, well, that was a terrible teardrop. These are all bad. Okay. But that look though, where it's like thin at the top and then it gets thicker towards the bottom. These are horrible examples right now. Oh my god, what is my life? Anyway, but you get it, I guess, I hope. So, those are what I do for the arms and the legs, essentially. I'm just gonna give up on that right now. But for the body itself, I keep it pretty consistently the same size throughout. Round out the bottom of the body. So the body is basically a straight line. And you can always curve it in other angles and stuff, but just for this particular one, it's gonna be straight. And the legs are very long because Endermen are super tall. So I start right about they come out kind of like a triangle right about there, like the corner parts. So anyway, it's just, I mean, curves is pretty much just what I do with these Endermen. So thin to thick, and thin to thick. Something like that. And the arms come out actually like right at these spots. So coming out, and they kind of got long arms too. I mean, doesn't have to be perfect, as you can tell. But and then for eyes, I kind of vary it. I mean, you can do the standard, like what they actually look like in the game, which is just more rectangles. And then But sometimes I go like this look, just because it's kind of cute. Well, that was a little creepy. Sometimes if you do it right, it can be cute. And it's the Enderman. Anyway, and I do like to add like a little face, just because I think it looks cute. But anyway, so that's kind of like the basic idea for a front view of an Enderman, of how I draw them. And yeah, so next part is showing you how to draw it in any other pose. So the nice thing about drawing Minecraft characters is they are based on like geometric figures. So as long as you can figure out that, you can draw them essentially like any style. And like, yeah, so here's the beautiful rectangle that I showed you earlier. And I'm pretty sure many of you are aware, if you've taken like any geometry classes or anything, of something that looks kind of, except more gooder, something like that. Just the standard 3D box effect. And it's the same thing for drawing the Enderman, except it's not a square, it's a rectangle. So you're doing the same exact thing. And the important thing when you're doing with this is to keep the same angle. So this line going this way is going to match. It's going to be parallel to that one, which is going to be parallel to this one. These are all going to be parallel going this way, and they're all going to be parallel going up and down. So those are the things to keep in mind. And yeah, so that would be the head. So, I mean, if you want to draw them looking this way, then that's already done. You can just flip it and do the same thing from the other direction. And keep in mind this is slightly above too, because you're seeing this area. If it was slightly below, then you'd be seeing more of the bottom, which would look a little bit like that. Because then you're seeing this area. But I mean, it's essentially, when you're drawing the head, it's just this shape, the rectangle with the 3D-ness effect. So drawing it completely from the side, you would have a very tall and thin rectangle, and then drawing it, I mean, you can play around with stuff, like I can make it really, really thin. And then, I mean, I guess you could be facing that way. And so it gets you majority of the side view with a tiny bit of the front and a little bit more above. So just play around. I would suggest making these boxes. And it would really be helpful if you actually had like a thick book or a block or even a Lego piece, something that is more accurately a square or a rectangle shape in real life, and you can put it in different angles, and that's probably more helpful than making stuff up in your head, because you'd have actual real life references that would be accurate, and you can learn from that instead of making stuff up and hoping it's accurate. Anyway, so that's the head in any angle, and it's the same thing for how I do the arms, legs, and body. They're just longer and thinner rectangles. So, oops, I can draw a straight line. Like, if that's the Enderman leg, then it's just the same thing. It's just a little bit thinner. So you're kind of doing something like that, but a little bit nicer. But anyway, so you're just doing that, but at different angles and just making it more round. So probably in my style, oopsies, I could not draw today. So something like that. And the only difference is I just make them a bit more round. So showing a bit more of the side, and it kind of just curves in rather than just being that. Let me erase that bottom. That bottom's terrible. Something like that. That's a bit better. Okay, there we go. So I round in the side of the leg instead of round it in instead of it coming straight in. There we go. If that makes any sense to what I'm saying. But so that's, I mean, arms and legs. So arms and legs. So just round, and that's all it really is. So the next thing to talk about, I guess, is if I'm bending. Oh, this actually is plus body and body, because they're all the same shape. They're all the same long, skinny rectangle thing, except for the body, it's more like same throughout. So, but there's still like that roundness that I'm not really conveying too well here, but round. There we go. So there's still that roundness, but there's just not the teardrop, so that is over here. And then get rid of that. Alright, so the next thing I guess to address would be bending. So it's a little bit trickier when because in Minecraft they don't actually bend their limbs, Endermen don't. So if you were to do it, it would probably be something like that, where it would be a little joint thing right here. But it would just still be straight lines. But I mean, that, I guess if I had to bend it, that's probably what I would do, just to keep within that square, you know, shape thing. But it's a lot easier when you make things round, because then you can actually have natural like curves and it would still look right. So I mean, it'd be just this curve and it works perfectly. So for bending an arm, it's the same thing, but you're just like bending a teardrop. So if you have this, give me one good teardrop. That's good. One more. Working with it. So you have the thin top, you have the thick bottom, and then you have the gradual, you know, what's the word? Transition, I guess, to that. So you're just basically bending and pushing and squishing a teardrop. So you get the curve. So you pretty much just want to first find your curve. Like, what is the arm and legs doing? Or the body? Just what's anything doing? What's the pose? What's the action? What's happening? And you work with that. So if this is my curve, I'll do that in red actually. Good enough. Alright, so if that's my curve, then the teardrop is going to follow that. So I'm going to start thin at the top and then get thicker at the bottom. And if it helps you to draw these little extra lines, then do it, because whatever works for you. So start thin, get thicker, you got that roundness part, thin, thicker, and then round. And there you go. That would be either a curved leg or arm, or okay, not exactly the body, because I keep forgetting that my bodies are the same throughout. But it's the same kind of idea though, even with the body. Like if you have a curve, then just follow the curve better than what I'm doing right now. And there you go. It's not beautiful, but you get the idea. So when I draw pictures like, oh, and it's like the same thing for grass blocks. I draw a lot of, if I draw an Enderman, he's most likely holding a grass block or thinking about a grass block or something with a grass block, because I just like that idea that they are really obsessed with grass blocks. That's my little headcanon. So this is essentially how I draw a grass block. It's like the same thing with Enderman's head, but this time it's a square, and then little dots for the dirt, and there we go. So that's a grass block. So if I were to draw an Enderman holding it, it would probably just, I'll do a little bit from the side just to get something different. Did I do side from the beginning? I forget now. GG, Sam. GG. Get this beautiful commentary while I'm... God, stupid. Whatever. I'm not gonna fix that. Fix your mistakes, kids. Don't be a lazy butt like me. I'm being so lazy today. I apologize. Alright, so similar body throughout. And now I want to think about what I want him to be doing. Please excuse the frantic fixing of the corner. Good enough. Okay, ignore what I just did. Anyway, what are his legs doing? Or is he having like a crazy party where he's, that would look weird, where he's just like, woo, and he's like running off, stealing with it, like, aw yee. I mean, I could do something like that. I probably should have done that in a separate layer, but whatever. Anyway, so, sure, let's go with this. This is the pose idea that I want. So now it's time to do that idea where you go thin, starting from the neck, because that's where they have their arms coming from, and you go to thick. So thin to thick. And in this case, you might have some overlap just because this front of the arm is going to be in front of this area of the arm, so that's just a little bit of perspective for you. Probably round it out and go like that, so then like there's one arm. And this one, actually probably have this a little bit there too, because that's a little bit from the side as well. And, you know, it's totally okay to fix things as you work on it. So leave a little gap for the dirt block, because, you know, dirt block. It's gotta be a steely one. It'll be a little bit of a tiny one. It'll be a cute little baby dirt block, I guess, with beautiful perspective. What am I doing? There we go. Okay. And then erase a little bit under that because the dirt block is blocking that. And the arm is blocking that. There we go. Okay. So he's carrying the dirt block, and then the legs, thin to thick. These are going to be some long legs. I mean, you don't have to copy like this style exactly. This is just kind of to get you an idea of how I draw Enderman, but you're totally welcome to do whatever you want. If you want that boxy look, or you want, I don't know, something else, then go for it, because that's the fun thing about art. So you can do whatever you like, do whatever style. But if this like inspires you to like draw something, and you want to draw in like this style or whatever, then like do it. I would probably like to see it just because I want to see people's creations with that. That'd be cool. So if you feel like sharing, you know, totally welcome to do so. And yeah. And I know I'm kind of like quote unquote cheating by using these like extra little editing things, but I just kind of want to get the point across more so than anything else. But if you're doing this on paper, it's just erase it and, you know, redo it. That's what I would do if I was using paper. And then for the eyes, I guess, I can sort of kind of do something like that. He's looking over here. Oh yeah, he's got that dirt block. Oh, you know what? I'm going to change that to a diamond block. Except I don't remember what they look like in the standard texture pack. So I'll just use a texture pack I have, which is just like that. And then I'll make it blue. You'll see. You'll see. It'll look beautiful. And then eyebrows. I don't usually add eyebrows to Enderman, but in this case I will. There we go. Erase that. Oops. Didn't mean to erase the head. Okay. Anyway, super sketchy, but if I was gonna go over it and make it all nice and pretty, I would just lower the opacity. Or if you're sketching on paper using a pencil, you can lightly erase bits, or like touch your eraser to the pencil, and that will pick up some of the graphite. And then you can either go over it again in like a darker pencil, or you can go over it in pen. So you can just do stuff like that. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way through this, and then I'll just fast forward this part in time lapse and talk to you guys again at the end. Okay, there we go. Essentially, something like that. I probably would have rather take more time with it, but just for the sake of a tutorial. One other thing I didn't really mention about what I do sometimes is if there's a noticeable perspective thing with the arms, sometimes I'll just add like this little effect to make it a little bit more Minecrafty. Something like that, maybe. I'll probably just leave that one line. But you don't have to do it. Just something I sometimes like to do. But there we go. Something like that. I don't know. So just a little extra thing to include. And yeah, that's essentially how I draw Enderman. Just, you know, head, then you got the body, and then you got the arms, and you just, you know, mark where you want the legs, mark what you want them to do, little faces, you know, that sort of stuff. Nothing super special. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to watch me color this, I guess. And that's essentially it. Go out and draw those Endermans, and feel free to show me your creations because I would totally love to see them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye!